started as an organic grassroots thing. It was started in a nefarious fashion. As you move into the 1930s, FDR is the president of the United States. He set forth a commission, and this commission was tasked with how to deal with the issues of the Negro. The commission started something called the National Negro Congress. And the National Negro Congress was a preeminent civil rights movement of the 1930s. And at its head was a man by the name of A. Philip Randolph. The National Negro Congress was started with the help of Joseph Stalin and the Soviet Union. So you had the feds and you had the communists who had a hand in the civil rights movement. The feds had an interest in using the civil rights movement as a means of agitating in the streets, the objective being to make local communities and states look incapable of self-governance. The idea being that if you can agitate the people, if you can cause riots and unrest, what that will then do is create a public outcry for federal response. And in so doing, you expand the role of the federal government. You basically usurp states' rights because that's what it's always been about. The communists, although they use the same tactic, had a very different goal. Their goal was to use the civil rights movement to usher in Marxism into the United States and into the West at large by way of the Negro. The National Negro Congress set forth little brother and little sister groups. One was called the Southern Negro Youth Conference. They set up shop in Alabama, and they would often put on events and social gatherings for the youth with the objective of recruiting them to the communist cause. It would put on a lot of religious events in the South. And these events would be frequented by one Michael King Sr. in the 1940s. Michael King Sr. would go to Germany shortly before the rise of Hitler, and he was enamored of the 16th century theologian, the reformer, Martin Luther. And he saw what he perceived to be Martin Luther wrestling away authority from the Catholic Church through the Reformation. And he said, I can do that in America by calling men to embrace the social gospel. And so he came back to America and changed his name to Martin Luther King Sr. And then he changed his son's name to Martin Luther King Jr. because he saw himself and his seed as the one who's going to usher in the social gospel and move religion forward to embrace this Marxist idea, otherwise known as the social gospel. Martin Luther King would come of age. He wrote in his papers that he shocked his Sunday school class by rejecting the resurrection of Christ. He also rejected the deity of Christ. He didn't believe that Jesus was born of a virgin. He didn't believe in the literal existence of hell, and he didn't believe in the second coming. But yet he's a Christian pastor.